Right then, this is a quick walk around video, and this is for a Honda Civic 1.8 SR. A 64 plate car with 53,000 miles on the clock, finished in black with a full black leather interior. And the car is in absolutely beautiful condition. It's been fully serviced by the Honda main dealers up until the service we've literally just done on the car. So wonderfully maintained. Front of the car absolutely clean. There's no stone chips, no marks, no scrapes, nothing. Lights, lenses, completely clear. The car's been kept beautifully. It was one of the very best you'll see. On it, I can hardly see a stone chip anywhere in there at all. I'm sure if you look close enough you'll find something microscopic. Coming down the near side of the car. It's coming down the near side of the car. Absolutely like a mirror in the panels. It's wonderfully clean. So I get these really lovely alloys on the car, look absolutely fantastic. Just the tiniest little bit of marking right on the outside edge of that one. Near side one always takes any little marks. And then coming down the main panel, look, it's just so clean and fresh in the panels. Near side rear alloy, absolutely unmarked. And again, come around this angle. I'm crunching the stones on my feet. Hopefully you can hear me. Just see how clean it is. And then around the back of the car, again, really clean. You get the slightly deeper rear trims on these SRs as well, make them sort of aesthetically, helps them. And off side of the car, driver's side, again, wonderfully smooth on the panel work. It's been washed, not polished, this car, so you know it's amazingly fresh original paintwork. Offside rear alloy, again, really good. I think just one tiny little mark on the spoke I can just see there, but not worth bothering with. And then the remaining panels is absolutely fantastic. And offside front alloy, again, just a couple of spokes, just got a couple of very light marks, but for a car that's sort of 5 years old, it's in absolutely beautiful condition. It's coming into the boot area now. It's huge in the back here, but it's also been kept absolutely beautifully. Carpeted areas in fantastic condition. Back of the rear seats there look pretty much as new. It's coming to the back of the car, really wide opening rear doors, give you access to this. It's amazing in the back, it really is. There's loads of room. Leatherwork looks absolutely as new. It looks stunning, so it's hardly ever been sat in. I'm sorry it's a little bit dark this morning. I'm doing this as an early morning video because there's rain forecast, which is makes videos pointless, unfortunately. Coming to the front now, passenger side, all the door cards are in fantastic condition on the car. There are a full set of original Honda mats, all again in very good condition. And this front passenger seat, as with the rear seats, has been given the lightest of use. Driver's door card now, again, absolutely immaculate. Footwell area is beautiful. And driver's seat there, bolsters, and it just looks factory fresh. It's absolutely incredible. So sat inside the car now, engine's running through this section, so the dashboard can be seen illuminated. Dashboard looks absolutely as new. It's in just stunning condition. You see there, sat nav working exactly as intended. If I pop the car into reverse, doing it with the one hand's not always easy. You can see the camera working exactly as it should be, all sort of gridded so you can sort of line the car up beautifully. The video just doesn't do justice to the interior of this car. It is incredible. And then just to pan back here for you, this wonderful view of this incredible dashboard. Absolutely fantastic. I just pan in here for you, hopefully without snagging the wires. Hopefully you can see 53,234 miles. But it really is an absolutely wonderful condition in here. Just to quickly show you, owner's manual pack, and very importantly, lock and wheel nut key are both here and present with the car. So finally, just to come under this wonderfully presented engine bay, as is always the case from Honda, Absolutely brilliant engines. Cam chain driven, there's no cam belts on them at all, so no major service on the vehicle at any point, apart from the obvious ones, but certainly nothing that includes cam belts or anything like that. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful engine to use. Right then, this is a road test video, and this is for a Honda Civic 1.8 SR. This particular car is registered HG64ECE, and mileage at the start of the road test is 53,227 miles. The reason we do the videos is basically so that anyone that's looking online at this car in an advert actually gets to see that very car in operation. We are acutely aware of just how frustrating it can be to go and see a car which looks great in description and photos, only to drive it to find out it's got a fundamental issue which probably would have meant you wouldn't have turned up to see the car. So hence that's why we do it. It's also done on these generally very quiet country roads very close to our premises, so hopefully be representative of what you'd feel yourself if offered a test drive in the car. The car itself, as you'll know from the advert, has been very, very well looked after. These are fantastic cars, they really are. Engine is it's just a typical Honda engine. It's an absolute peach. It's starts absolutely instantly, of course. It's also absolutely smooth and even idle. But it's just such a lovely engine to use day in, day out. It has a lovely warm sound to its soundtrack. Very smooth, very crisp in its throttle responses, and real world economy is amazing in them as well. If you drive them, even remotely gently, they can achieve amazing economy. But even driven, without consciously trying, they do achieve very, very good economy figures. Better probably than the previous generation's diesel, in all honesty. There are no warning lights at all on the dashboard relating to the engine or any other part of the car for that matter, and the engine temperature is running at a third, which is exactly where it should be, and the engine's been running for well over 2 hours now, so right up to operating temperature. Engine then feeds through clutch and into gearbox. Clutch is absolutely perfect, smooth and silent in operation, and its bite point is exactly where it's meant to be on the pedal travel as well, so all absolutely spot on. Gearbox, which is of course a 6-speed gearbox in this day and age, but it is a brilliant gear change. Honda do these primary controls probably better than most, if not better than anybody. Gear change has a kind of a meaty quality to it, which is in stark contrast to some of its competitors which have kind of slightly vague, lifeless gear changes. This has a lovely action to it. The problem with most modern front-wheel drive cars, of course, is the fact that the gear lever here is joined to the gearbox underneath by cables, and that normally means you can have some indifferent gear changes, to say the least, but this is perfect. Steering on the car, which has always been a strong point of the Civic, which is lovely and quick, direct, very precise. It also tracks absolutely bullet straight. There's no vibrations at all coming back through the steering wheel at this speed or any speed up to the legal limit. It's all exactly as it should be. But it's perfectly tuned to the chassis of the car as well. It really is. Because it's quite a dynamic car to drive, which would be a shame if you had kind of lifeless, slow steering. But this is the absolute opposite of that. It's lovely and quick in its responses. The chassis of the vehicle, again, really, really nicely done. It gives you a very compliant, beautifully damped ride on pretty much all road surfaces, as opposed to the previous generation, which could be quite harsh on some more brittle surfaces. This one rides those imperfections far, far better. But it also means the car corners relatively flat. It doesn't flop about. There's no great body movement. It's just a really, really pleasant car to drive day in, day out. What I'm looking for on road tests, by the way, particularly on some of the roads here, because the road surfaces aren't great, is just listening out for any kind of mechanical issues under the car, that noises that shouldn't be there, suspension sort of knockings or otherwise, and there's nothing at all on the car. It's all exactly as it should be. get around the corner. I'm going to give the brakes a bit of a shove in a second. So make sure nothing goes flying forward, but no one behind me. It's a really, really good brake pedal on the car. What I'm looking for on the brakes is just to make sure that when you hit the brake pedal, you're not getting some sort of pulsing or vibrations coming back through the brake pedal. Then it stops you straight, it doesn't go sort of violently left or right, but everything's exactly as it should be. Coming to the interior of the car, it's not been cleaned yet. It's going there in a second. Once this is done, it's going to be serviced and MOT'd. But it's in lovely condition in here. Absolutely fantastic condition, it really is. You know, someone's been very, very, very careful with the ownership of this vehicle. It's lovely to see. It's also beautifully, beautifully made. Not a hint of a squeak or a trim rattle. This is fairly typical of this generation Civic as well, by the way. They are fantastically well put together, and this, as I always say, this is real world build quality. Years down the line and a few thousand miles on the clock, not when they're brand new, where all cars feel rather well built these days. But it just shows how it should be done. But it's also just a brilliant place to sit. Dashboard is, you know, unique in its design, and I think it's a brilliant thing because it's not, doesn't appeal to everybody, and it, you know, good design quite often doesn't. I just think it's, for me, it just works perfectly. You've got a brilliant driving position, view of this sensational dashboard. The centre part's probably the most conventional bit, all working perfectly. Air conditioning, different temperatures side to side. Heated seats work exactly as they should as well. I checked those earlier, and air conditioning pumps out lovely cold air. Then on top, we've got this sweeping two-tier dashboard. So the high-up displays are the displays you tend to look at most regularly. So you've got your radio and climate control readouts up there. Also, you've got your the best part for me is the speedo, basically. So you've got this speedo directly in front, really high up, so I can clearly look at the road ahead, pedestrians, whatever else, but also keep my eye on my speed at all times without having to sort of look down further into the dashboard binnacle. It works brilliantly. It's sensational in the way it works, it really is. Down below that, we've got more conventional pod, 3 dials and normal things, but big dominating rev counter with a little rev prompter, and then you're flanked by its temperature and fuel gauges. And then steering wheel pretty much looks and feels as new in hand. Lovely sort of thick rimmed, leather bound steering wheel. Auto lights, auto wipers, cruise control works exactly as intended. It just is a fabulous place to sit, it really is. As I said at the start of the video, the point of it, as brief as it might be, is just to show the car in operation, but to feedback on any issues, of which there's nothing at all. It feels as tight as a drum, and so it's a credit to the way the people have kept this car. As always though, don't hesitate, you know, if you've got any questions about the car, do give us a call.